Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Dropping into Happiness. We are your hosts.
And
I am
I
Rachel.
am Maggie.
Welcome, friends. Welcome, darling SunDrops. I don't even think I said that on the last one.
Hey.
Hello, SunDrops. You know what I noticed the other day? Super off topic, but because I like to hashtag SunDrops when I put stuff like on Instagram. And one day, because if y'all don't realize what a hashtag is, it kind of keeps the conversation connected. So if you put a hashtag running and you click it after you post it and it like lights up, it will take you to every other person on that platform who has put that hashtag in their post. And so you can see other people who are doing the same thing that you do. So I like to do it to kind of keep our SunDrop conversations kind of all together. But I clicked it one day and it had like a lot of posts. And I was like, I know we're not posting that often. So I wanted to see what all the other like SunDrop hashtags were. Okay, I did not research this before we decided that's what you guys were going to be called, but there's like a flower, there's a soft
Yeah.
drink. Have you guys seen the soft drink center? After I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's right. The only place I ever saw that was in Texas. I've never seen it in California. But I thought it was so funny, like all of these other topics and conversations going on with hashtag SunDrops. I thought that was really funny and very cute. But I was like, hey, I feel like we were in good company though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it wasn't. Yeah, it was very fun. So well, friends, this is now episode 62. I know we're into the 60s. And if you are looking at the numbers and you're like, holy cow, where did 60 go? Just remember that was when we did our live. We kind of did our live as an episode. I wasn't able to download it from Instagram because if I was going to post it just like we normally post the podcast. But Instagram wouldn't let me. Like every time I tried to download that recording, it would like
Right. It's probably just
crash.
because it was too
I was like,
long.
dang Insta. I know. I'm like, dang, Insta just won't even let me keep track of that. But yeah, so this is episode 62, and we are going to talk today. Essentially, I want to normalize this. So today's topic is called "It's okay to say no." Like, I mean, have you guys heard that phrase, right? That no is a complete
Yeah.
sentence. I've always loved that. I've loved that saying, and that is accurate, and that is relevant to a wellness journey. So I know a couple weeks ago, right, we talked about the don't do that, like don't stop don't stop going to your favorite places, like don't stop eating all of your favorite things, like things like that. This is a little different, okay? This is going to be a little different because I would love for you guys to still go out and see your friends and be like, hey, I want to go out and do this. But if you are out and say you've had your one drink and you're like, oh, this was so much fun, and somebody at the table maybe is like, oh, just have another one or just have an appetizer, you're out and you really don't want to, you can tell them no. Like it's okay to be like, I'm good. Because did we have an episode on food pushers?
We've
I feel
talked
like we
about it,
brought them
I'm
up.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so if anybody has like anyone, and sometimes the pusher is not doing it in a malicious way. They just feel like, "Oh, you should be having fun." And the way you're going to have fun is if you consume more. But if it's genuinely something you don't want to do, I want you to know that it is okay. It is okay to say no. So Maggie, do you feel like you've ever been in one of those situations where you almost felt bad to say no, but genuinely for your journey and your health, you're like, this is just something I need to say no to?
I can't think, yeah, I can't think of like a specific food moment. Um, because I think a lot of people in my immediate circle, they know what's going on in terms of my health and wellness journey. But I
Mm-hmm.
think for me, it's more so like saying no to time commitments that are going to take away from me or like the energy that
Okay.
I have. Like saying no to continuing coaching.
Yeah,
I held on to saying no for a long time. I knew that I was
me
ready to
too.
go for a long time, and I didn't want to let anyone down, and I didn't, but inevitably I ended up saying no, and like the world has kept turning, and I've had like a lot of peace with that decision. I think like on Instagram, getting messages and feeling like I have to answer them right away, or like asking, like someone
Yeah.
asking, hey doggos, asking me like, hey, will you go in your kitchen and take a picture of this food item and send it to me, so because I don't know. And instead me being like, no, you can Google the name of it and it'll bring up the picture, just like getting used to
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
those
yeah.
kinds of things. So it's like, because what I was guilty of was just giving so much of my time to other people and other commitments, and then just being too mentally fatigued to even think about what I needed to be doing.
Yeah.
So saying no to some of those, helping out others, that's hard for me because I'm definitely someone that loves to help and everything. But I say that's where I
And
struggle
keeping
more,
with that same,
is saying no.
I don't know if this ever happened to you, but once I was a coach, if there was someone who saw my success, saw my journey, and was like, "Oh, I want to do that too," and I tell them, "Hey, I did it with WW," and they'd be like, "Oh, well, I don't want to join WW, but can you just tell me what to eat?" Have you ever had
Yeah.
anybody tell you that? I'm like,
No.
no, it's not how that
No.
works. It's not like I want to help
I
you, but
wish
that's
it
not how
was
that
how it
works at
works.
all.
Sometimes it'd be a lot easier,
Yeah.
but
I'm like, no, that's
no.
not going to be successful if you think that me just telling you what to eat, especially if it's things that you don't like to eat. I mean, that's not how that
Mhm.
works. I feel like this feeling of feeling bad to say no comes up a lot for me around the
Mhm.
holidays. Like if people want to give me food and candy and like you know what I mean, things that I'm like,
Yeah.
that's okay, like thank you, but it's not something it's either something I don't like or something I just don't want to have in my house. Strategically, I'm like, I have too many of those things in there already. I mean, because I I mean, I should just say no, but literally, like, I'll like take it to my mother-in-law's or I'll leave
Yeah,
it at
like, I'm
work
very
and
lucky, I feel like
but
I'll
yeah.
say like, I'll have a like, students will bring me, like, treats on holidays or what have you, and, like, I
Yeah.
will, be like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much, I'm gonna have this later," and then, like, I'll give it away to a student in the next class, like, "Mm, sorry." So then
Yeah.
I don't really have to say no, but I'm still saying no to it for me. They just, it's like, I think you kinda have to, like, pick your
Yeah.
battles with some of those things, like, and, like, I had a student who handmade, like, strawberry shortcake cupcakes, and they were, like, tiny, and, like, I felt
Oh.
better about, like, accepting that and actually having it for myself than, like, the candy, like, the box of candy that I could get any time of year. I was like, "Oh, thanks," and then, like, gave it away
Yeah.
at another time. Same thing, like, or with any kind of food, really, I'll just be like, "Alright, I'll take it," but then I'll just give it to someone else, but I guess I could just say no at the beginning, but, it's like
I know. You know what comes to mind? I had this one member one time, and I thought her, how she handled this certain situation was so brilliant. I had this one member in a WW workshop, and a girlfriend had invited her out to lunch. A girlfriend she hadn't seen in a really long time, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see you. Let's go to lunch." And her friend was like, "Perfect, let's go." I think it was like the Cheesecake Factory, and she was like, "Oh, um." Yeah, that's cool. And so because they had decided on a place, she went on her app and was looking at and then on their website and was looking at their menu to see like what would kind of keep within her budget and make her the feel the best. And she was like, literally nothing on their menu excited me, looked appealing to me, would be in my budget. So instead of telling her friend no, she found another restaurant that was fairly nearby, that same one they picked, and called her friend back and was like, "Hey, you know what? I would really love to go to this other restaurant. Would that be okay?" Like, I really want to pass on the Cheesecake Factory. And the girl was like, "Absolutely, let's go to the other one." And that place had way better options. She had the points that she wanted. And I was like, that was so
Mhm.
brilliant. So she said no to the Cheesecake Factory just because that's what somebody else wanted to do. But she also presented a really great alternative without making it seem like, oh, I can't eat there. She didn't want
Mhm.
to. It didn't fit within what she was trying to accomplish or do that day. And I thought it was so smart, though. I was like, that's brilliant. Because you don't have to say, oh, you know what? I just can't go. Well, hey, maybe just not
Mhm.
there. Like, I thought that was really, really smart of her. I love that idea.
Yeah, that is strategic. you know, and that
Mhm.
she did give it like a fair opportunity or a fair shot to see if it was
Yeah.
something that she was interested in, like a true friend, you know, will have some
Yeah.
flexibility.
Oh,
Which I feel like
yeah.
I'm definitely like the flexible friend in that scenario. I'm always like, yeah, sure, whatever, like sounds good, like make it work, like, but I will have
Yeah.
like some hard and fast, like, nope. Like I've finally okay, so we have this chain barbecue restaurant called Sonny's Barbecue. And back in the
Ooh.
day, they used to have Brunswick stew for 5 points. You could get a bowl. And so Seth loves Sonny's barbecue. So whenever he would want that, I'd be like, oh, sweet, I'll get the Brunswick stew. It's 5 points. I love the way that it tastes, whatever. Well, dang pandemic, they never brought back the Brunswick stew. Yeah,
No.
and so for a while there, I would be like trying to make it work with other options on the menu, and it's in the app, so that's helpful. But I was just like, God, like, did no disrespect to Seth, but I'm like, this barbecue is not calling my name that I feel like I want to spend points on it, like above the 5 points I was spending on Brunswick stew.
Yeah.
So now finally, like every time Seth wants Sunnies, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. And I'm proud of myself for that
Yeah.
because I used to just conform because it was something he wanted. And if I didn't, especially if I didn't have any
Yeah.
like other ideas per se, but now I'm just like, no, like I'll either just have something here or like I'll be comfortable with the idea of us just getting two different places. Before, like I felt
Yeah.
so self aware if I wanted something food wise that Seth didn't want, and like we were having to make two special
Mhm.
trips just for me, you know? But then I realized
Mhm.
like he doesn't care. He'd be like, "No, let's get you what you want." And I'm like, "No, no, no, it's fine. We'll just have blah blah blah." And like I would be like annoyed about it, and he's like, "What? We can get you what you want." And it was like I just felt like I was making too big of a deal out of food when I was like, I want a certain thing and I don't
Yeah.
want that. So I've gotten really better at that because usually what I want, it's something I know the points of and I can like fit it into my app or into my like budget
Yeah.
more easily. So I'm just trying to get better about that.
So when you brought up the whole food situation, something not being available, I don't know if I've ever told this story. I might have told you before. I think it was pre-pandemic, maybe. I had to run to our local Walmart and get some groceries, but then I was really hungry and I wanted to get something to kind of eat on the way home. And there's a McDonald's in the parking lot. And it was kind of a long line, but the McDonald's had this grilled artisan chicken sandwich. I think it was 6 points. It was perfect. I was gonna get it with like an unsweet iced tea. I was down for it. I was so excited. I waited in this crazy long line, which I knew immediately I should have gone home anyway. Like I probably could have been home and eating by the time I got
Mhm.
my food, but I was like, whatever, I don't want to make it. I get to the window and I go to order my grilled chicken artisan sandwich, and the lady or the guy, he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't carry that anymore."
No.
I'm sorry, what? And I had checked their menu over and over and over, and that was the only thing that kind of sparked joy for me and was within my points value. And I literally told the guy, I was like, you know what, that I'm okay, I'm not going to get anything. And he was all, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. He goes, you don't want anything? And I was like, no, you don't have what I wanted, and I'm not going to get something that I don't
Mhm.
want. And so I had to wait because it was the kind where like it was like a line, so I couldn't get out to leave. So I still had to wait to like get up to the window before I could
Oh,
actually
that's
just
the
leave without
worst.
anything. But I was so proud
Yeah.
of myself though, because I was like, I didn't get something that I truly didn't want, and use points that I had not intended on using. But that was a big deal for me to be like, you know what, that's okay. I don't want anything. And he was like,
Yeah,
what?
that's so funny. I when you're telling that story, and it's ironic because it's another Sonny's story. So clearly, like I just have it out for Sonny's. But it was one of those things where I was like really trying to stay within my points that day, and like had been doing so well all day, and was like, okay, I'm gonna get a salad from Sonny's with like smoked turkey on it, and that was the plan all day long. And it was late,
Ooh,
and we were like reaching the point of hungry, like hangry, and I never
yeah,
cuss. Well, like often. This compared to like some other people that
yeah,
like in my life or like I hear on social media, like I don't cuss. Um
yeah,
we get to the drive-through window and I'm like, "Yeah, can I get a salad with smoked turkey?" And the girl's like, "We're out of salad." And I'm on the phone with my friend like Seth's in the car, and I just go, "Fuck," and it's the word. And like my friend Katie started laughing because she never hears me like drop a bomb like that. But I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Well,
It's
yeah,
like
any swear
anytime
word,
where you've
and
had
then
a
the big one.
plan and you were like strategic about it all day. And I think like that's when being on a health and wellness journey just feels so annoying because you're like, now I put all this time and effort into planning something and now I don't know what to do. And that's when I was like, okay, girl, you got to have a backup to
Yeah.
the backup to the backup. Because
Mhm.
especially nowadays, like post pandemic and just this economy, there's like all kinds of issues like
Yeah.
getting food out. But yeah, I remember not getting anything then either
Well,
because I was like, well, shoot, I'll just eat something at home. And
I mean, I've done that with my family in the car. I don't remember what we were out doing one time, but both the kids were with us, and once again, McDonald's. Knowing now that they no longer have the artisan chicken grilled chicken sandwich, one time my husband was like, "Oh, let's just swing through McDonald's," and I was like, "Okay, like whatever." And so he gets to the window, and everybody orders, and he looks at me, and he's like, "What do you want?" And I was like, "No, I'm gonna eat at home," and he goes. Seriously, like we're here right now, and I was like, no, it's okay. Like they don't have anything that I want. I'm just gonna eat at home. And he was like, are you serious? And I was like, seriously fine. I can make myself something when I get home. I know exactly what I'm going to make. Like, that's totally
hmm
fine. And he was floored that I could be sitting in a drive through and say
yeah.
no. And I was like, I'm okay. And I'm going to say this one too. There's another one that I will say no to. And please do not come after me, Californians. I'm not an In and Out fan. I'm just
Oh,
not.
I've
If
had it
I
once. It's
do,
okay.
I get protein style, so there's no bun. It's like lettuce with the meat. Like I'll do that, not a problem. But I'm okay. It's not my jam. It doesn't bring happiness to my soul.
Mhm.
And it was so cute because the other night my husband was going to go to Sam's Club, and I just didn't feel like going. I'd had a really big day at work, and so him and the kids went. And there's an In and Out right next door, and I think they were kind of excited because I wasn't there. They're like, "You mean we can get In and Out for dinner?"
Mhm.
Because I just don't like it. And I'm like, and so they went and had it, and I made myself something at home, and I'm like, that's okay. Like,
Mhm.
no, I'm good. I don't need to have it just because you're going to have it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's been a big one for me to say no
Yeah.
to certain things.
I
And like, yeah.
I remember when I was teaching at my previous job and I like came into the office and it was like teacher appreciation or some kind of holiday and they had cupcakes and someone was like, "Do you want a cupcake?" Or no, you can't have that on your diet. And I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
actually, we can. But it's 8 in the morning and I just don't know if I'm ready for a cupcake yet. Like it's just but so no, thank you. If I still want one at lunch and they have some,
Yeah.
I'll come down. But it's it's
Yeah.
just like before I would definitely like choose things just because of proximity or because they were there or like I do feel like overall I'm getting better at just being like, oh yeah, I don't really want that. I think the intention behind the no is the big thing. Like, are you white
Mhm.
knuckling it and like no and like deep down you really
Yeah.
really want it like that's danger zone but if you like know in your gut like
Yeah.
this doesn't serve me like say no boo say no
Absolutely. Yeah, because if I really wanted a chicken nugget from McDonald's that day, I
which
would have
I
gotten
do
some
love
chicken
a
nuggets.
chicken
But
nugget from McDonald's.
I didn't feel. You know what kills me though is the sauces are so
I
million
know
points. Like that's what gets me every
condiments
time.
in general I used to
Yes.
just eat
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A sauce with no remorse, or not remorse, but, like, no boundaries, like, just bountiful Chick-fil-A
Yeah.
sauce, and now I'm like, 1 container is 6 points?
We are caniacs in our house, and we're like we have to have extra because if we don't have enough extra at home, it's like a
Are you
brawl in
referring
the
to
kitchen. And like,
Raising
no, that was
Cane's?
mine. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
we're
didn't know you all
caniacs.
had Raising
Raising
Cane's out
Cane's.
there. That I used to
Okay. I started having canes in Texas,
yeah,
and then when one came out here about 2 or 3 years ago, I was so excited, and everybody was like, "What are you so
yeah,
excited about?" And then within a year or so, another one was built closer to us than that
yeah.
one.
Do you all have
So yeah,
Zaxby's out
we
there?
we love some canes. No, but I
See,
know what
I
that
feel
is.
like Cane's
I
and
do.
Zaxby's are so similar. And here in Tallahassee,
Yeah.
where I live, we have so many fried chicken places. It's absurd. Like Zaxby's, we just got a Raising Cane's, which that was my go-to place in undergrad. I was always the designated driver because I was excited about wherever my like drunk friends wanted to go eat afterwards. Like that's I was like, where am I driving us to get food? And Cane's was always one of
Yeah.
those places. We have a new
Oh,
place called Slim Chickens, which I'm thankful for because they actually have a grilled option. We have a Guthrie's, which
yes.
is basically the same as Cane's. We have Popeyes, of course, KFC, like all this
Yeah.
like standards, but
Mhm.
like
Same.
around every
KFC would
corner.
stop carrying grilled stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, KFC stopped carrying grilled.
Ugh.
The only one we really have that can get a good grilled is Chick-fil-A, and I kid you not, at any given moment when Chick-fil-A is open, it's at least 25 cars deep.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've ever been by
gotta do
there
the
with them
mobile
open and it
pickup.
not be that long of a
Gotta do the
line.
mobile pickup.
I know. Yeah, that's the only way to do
Yeah.
it. But yeah, I or like actually, I love me some Buffalo Wild Wings because they do naked
Oh yeah,
tenders,
I do
and I
like
can
their
do that with
naked
the sauce.
tenders, and they're 0 points without any sauce on them.
I know, and even their teriyaki sauce, it's very teriyaki sauce is actually pretty low in points, and especially if you get it on the side and just kind of dip a little bit at a time, like it keeps the points
This
really,
was
really
a
low. To the point where I would get some french fries on the side.
yes, this was an unexpected tangent. Have we ever had a fast
I
food
know.
dedicated episode? I feel like maybe
I
if we
don't
have
feel like our fast
go
food
tos.
tips and tricks and where we go and what we
I
love,
can't
and I don't think we
remember. I'm
have.
surprised because that's something
I
I'm
mean,
so
we're on
passionate about.
in the 60s. I know,
Could have been
episode in
in
the
like the
60s. Someone's gonna
tens.
correct us if
We
we
should look
have.
look at the tens. It's probably I feel like yeah, cuz
Yeah.
but then oh my gosh, don't post about
Let me
eating
see if I can check while we're
don't
on.
post about eating fast food on TikTok because you will be roasted. I'm like, there's probably listeners
Just
out
people in general
there's
on
probably
TikTok.
people listening out here like to be honest that are like, "Oh, fast food process." But it's like okay, if you can live your whole life never having to go through a drive-through again, kudos to you. But that will not be
Oh, I
my
know.
life.
It's very much it's yes, it's ingrained in our life. It's how we do it. Like 'cause, sometimes if me and my husband want to get a family dinner for less than I don't know $60, which is usually what I swear it comes out to for four people here. Del Taco has the like the family fiesta pack. It's like $16 and you get like six tacos and six
Mm,
burritos. Dude, that feeds all of us, and we have some left over because I usually have one burrito with my hot
mm.
sauce. But so yeah, we it's just
That's what
something
it
that
is.
it's just it yeah it's in our life, it's how we do it. It's just part of who we are. I'm looking to through all of our episodes to see if we ever had a fast food
I'm
one.
surprised if
I'm
we
not
didn't.
seeing it. I
Well, I don't
know, I
know.
don't think we
I don't know what
have.
else more to say about this idea of it's okay to say no, other than like it's okay to say no. I don't know.
Well, and not just when it comes to food though, because literally what also popped up in my brain when I was thinking about this topic, there were people in my WW group, and when I would do coaching, and on more than one occasion I had people come in, and obviously I would have loved to talk to them one on one and not in a group setting because sometimes it can be very intimidating or intimate, but who have had like a significant other like tell them, like put them down, or like a friend, like a specific girlfriend somebody had, and every time she went out with her she would either food push her or she would make her feel bad about her food
Mm,
choices, like, oh, you're eating like a bird, I don't know why you don't put more meat on your bones, and say things like that. And she loved this friend, she loved her as a whole, she loved this friend, but when it came to her health and wellness journey and in a food situation, she just didn't like being around her. So in like we had to talk about it, and like instead of going out for drinks, or instead of going out for dinner or whatever, like maybe you go for a walk in the park, maybe you go to a
yeah, or
concert where
like
food's not
maybe you
involved.
talk to your
Like we had to how she had to say
yeah.
no to that situation with her. She's like, it wasn't good for her mental state, for her well-being. She was like, and she just I had to say no to her when it came to those kind of situations, and that just broke
Well,
my
honestly,
heart.
like if it's a true friend, you should I mean talk to them and be like, "Yo, like what is your obsession with what I'm eating?" Cuz I love you and like I'm
Yeah.
sure this is coming from a place of positive intent, but I'm kind of confused. Like why does what I eat impact you
Yeah.
so much? Because at the end of the day when people are commenting on other people's food, it's because of their own insecurity with their own relationship with food. So, anytime
Mhm.
someone's asking me something or telling me something that makes me like uncomfortable, I'm like, why is this important to you? Or why? Why do you need to know that? Or why do you need to why do I need to eat a certain amount of food? And like just asking them, like they'll be like, "Brr, hmm."
Yeah.
Oftentimes,
But so she, I mean, she had even gotten to the point where when her friend asked her to go out to eat, she'd tell her no. She
yeah,
would, and like, but like my other example, she would recommend something else.
yeah,
Like maybe
because
let's
that's
go
an
window
option
shopping
too.
or let's go to
Like at the end of the
Target.
day, like people
Yeah.
need to know like what's up. Like I think we protect
Mhm.
people too much when they have no problem invading our boundaries. Like I'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, why do you care how much I'm eating?
But so that's what I wanted to bring up though.
Yeah.
So we have guys, we have the power to say no to food,
Mhm.
to friends, to familiar places like the Cheesecake Factory. But as we said, if this is something that you're craving, you want to do, you want to have, absolutely. But if somebody else is trying to influence you and make you feel like you should be feeling a certain way or make you feel like you should be eating a certain way, it is okay to say no.
Mhm.
Like I said, just because I was the only one in my car and my family not getting McDonald's, I didn't affect everybody else's dinner. That 100%. They can get as many chicken nuggets as they want to. That's not what I was having, and that's
Chicken
okay.
nuggets.
That's okay for us to say no. That's okay for that's we get these ones from Sam's Club. They're little buffalo boneless ones, and I
Mhm.
always call them nuggies. And like they're
So
so yummy. I
good.
love to get those because they're pretty low in points too. But it's okay to say no. It's okay to pass on something. It's okay to say no to an event if you truly don't want to go or be there because of a situation to put you in. It's okay to say no.
Say
Okay.
no.
Okay. I know because we got to
The
keep
world will
our
keep turning.
we got to be able to. Yes, and we've got to be able to put us first. We really, really do. Because when we put us first, can you hear my little gremlin in the background?
Arr.
He sounds like a
Sound like
gremlin.
a little
He's
man.
rustling. That's his growl. He's so tiny. I know. All right. Well, I will have you go first then on your goals and recommendations so I can mute and get him to stop being a
Okay.
gremlin.
My goal is to sign up for a local 5K. I've been working on with Couch to Magic, my 5K distance, and there's one on April 1st of this year in my city. So I want to sign up for that. So that's my star goal. Totally
Fun.
doable. On top of all the other like little things that I'm working on and identifying as someone that tracks and stays within their points. My recommendation, I have two. One is an Instagram account, and I think this is great because I feel that there's a lack of representation when it comes to fitness influencers or fitness content creators for like mid-sized bodies or larger athletes, if you will. So this is just she's really cool. Her name is SportyBethCF on Instagram. She's an online fitness coach and trainer. She's certified, but she just posts like a lot of inspirational content, and it's just cool to see someone who I feel I resonate with, like in the social media realm, besides myself. So I think she's a really cool
Mm-hmm.
account to follow. And then another recommendation, because we're talking about fast food, that I've been loving recently is if you have a Chipotle and you like Chipotle, you need to do the kids meal hack, which is basically just
Oh,
getting a quesadilla, kids quesadilla with the side of protein and beans or rice of your choosing, and then you can get a side of pico and corn, and you get a drink and a kids chip, all for like $5. I think prices vary
wow.
slightly, like depending upon where you are in the country, but it's very affordable. It's quite a bit of food. You can make yourself like a little mini bowl because Chipotle bowls are like huge,
Yeah.
but I will eat the whole thing.
Yeah,
So
they
like the
are.
kids version
Me too.
is like great because then I'm eating less, but I still feel like it's a whole experience. But with how expensive things are nowadays, like that's a pretty good deal. So recommend the kids quesadilla meal at Chipotle. 10 out of 10.
How fun. I know we're big chronic taco people at our house. It's very, very
I've had
similar to
that.
the
We
way
have
other
that in
Chipotle, but
Orlando. It's
we
very
really
good.
like chronic.
Mhm.
Yes, we love it. Do you know that two of the guys from Jackass, they are the ones that started and created Chronic Taco and then they franchised it out.
Oh,
And apparently the person who opened it here in my town sold it to them. So now they are the owners and they're in here in my
well,
town all the
that's cool.
time.
It's
I know. I'm
well,
like, oh my gosh,
after
it's
all.
delicious. I know. Okay, so my goal this week is I was just talking I believe last week in the other episode how I'm going to start a lot more responsibilities at the radio station, and I want to make sure because I am a snacker slash emotional eater, and so if I get stressed, overwhelmed, uh, if I get happy, angry, I want to eat something. So I want to make sure that my little mini fridge is well stocked. And what you got me hooked on pirates booty, so I need to make sure I have some pirates booty in there, some fruit, anything that I can grab and still feel good about, and not you know what I
Mm,
mean? The kind of stuff like at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have had that, or you mean we're not supposed to have those kinds of thoughts, but they happen. I want to be proud of the things that I consume during the day, so I want to make sure I'm full on fruits, like some yogurts and things like that, so I can grab whenever I need to grab and snack whenever I need to snack.
mm,
So,
love that.
but I know. I know recommendation. Did I recommend my little cups? Remember I told you guys about my yogurt cups? Like
Yep.
I can make my little parfaits at home.
Hmm.
Yeah,
You have to
I
update
already
us on the
recommended those today.
Snackle box though, because you did get your containers.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I did. Snackle box. That's a great one to recommend. Okay, I was talking to Maggie about it, and after we recorded the one that didn't record, I think it was that day.
Oh.
And yeah, so I was telling Maggie that I wanted to do a snackle box because, like I said, I snack a lot at work, and I was like, I even told her I was like, oh, I want to go to Target after this, and she's like, why don't you just look on Amazon? I'm sure they have something. And it was at like 6 p.m. or something. I had me a snackle box by 4 a.m. the next morning because I sent her a picture, and she was like, that was
Yeah, I was
fast.
like, what?
But I yes, I got two of them for $11. And so, and it's like, I remember thinking it was so funny when I put it together. I was like, oh, I wish there was more food in here. But after I took it to work and I had it out on the counter and I had all my snacks because I had like olives, hard boiled eggs, grapes, cashews, cheese. I cut up some Baby Bell cheese. All these like little things I could kind of just nibble on. It was perfect. It was the perfect amount of food in there for me to just snack on. And with it being like almost like a tackle box, you can change the size of the compartments of
Mhm.
it. So like when I had for my hard boiled eggs, I had that as the biggest compartment. I had a really little one for my cashews, so it was just a much smaller portion and so fun. I'll put a link to the ones that I ended up
Mm,
getting. But yeah, it was perfect and just stuck in my bag. I took it to work and I had just had it out on my counter as I was working that day. And it was just really easy to kind of pick up and just use. So
love,
there it is.
love.
I know. All right. So do you have our
I
quote?
do have our quote. The quote is, I'm allowed to do what's best for me, even if it upsets people.
Mm.
Tough. Tough for them.
Mic drop.
Yay.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for dropping
And have
by.
a magical day. Bye.